All right, so now your site has been built for you and you need to make some changes and some edits. So I'm going to show you how first you log into the site. You have a domain name, which is up here in the URL region of your browser. And in this case, it's vmtraining.sf.ucdavis.edu. Yours would be with your website's name. So for example, maybe it was Center for Equine Health. So it would be ceh.vetmed.ucdavis.edu. And then at the end of it, whatever it is, you are going to do /login. You'll get kicked over to log in with your CAS, with your Kerberos. And you say yes and log in, and now you're in. So we're on the home page here, and we're going to go back in another video or two and go over all of the blocks and how to make adjustments to any one of those to change out images or change text. But for now, what I want to do is I want to get you into editing a page. That'll be a thing that you do a lot. So in order to edit the page, you have to just go to the page. That's where you're going to be doing all your work, is exactly on the page or block that you want to make changes to. So in this case, I've got a page set up under About. So we're going to navigate to that, and now we're on the page. So we have a title on the page, like sample page is what I called it, and a nice little main image. It has a defined height and width. Well, the width will go 100% no matter how big the screen is, as you see there. But when you're making images for these, it's a good idea to go ahead and get your images with this orientation. So you may want to copy one of the images that we've already put in there, put it into a Photoshop file, and then make your new images the same sizes. And if you don't have the access to do that kind of a thing to any software, we can help you with that. So these images are optional to have on a page, but they do spruce it up a bit. So it's kind of nice. On this page, we also have a left menu item, and we'll be going over that in another video, because these are subcategories for About that you're seeing up here. I don't have them all in there. And then we have the page content itself. And in this case, it's just some lorem ipsum. These pages do have the ability to have another section on the right-hand side. The whole area that you see with this left menu and this main content, that is the full width of your content. And whether it be you have a content block or you have a menu, that's the whole width you get. So if you add another item to the right side, which you may very well do, it will only go to this left edge right here, and it'll push this content over. So that may be suitable for certain situations. So across here, what you see are only viewed when you're logged in. You're viewing the page. You can edit the page, which we will do. You can delete from here. You can go to revisions, and a revision is just what it says. There's other versions of this. So every time you make a change, it keeps track of those changes. So if you go in and just beat a page up really bad and you save it, you can go back a version to pull up the prior version you first started in and do some more work to fix that up. Or if you have older versions that you would like to come back to just because of the content that was there and it's pertinent again, you can go back to those versions. You can clone the page. So if you wanted to make a duplicate of this, because there was everything about it except for a few things you would like on another page, but you don't want to have to recreate the whole thing, you can clone that. Okay, so to edit, let's go into editing. All right, when you get in here, it's not scary. This is just a WYSIWYG area right here. This is where all your main text is going to be, and all your formatting for the main text is going to be in here. WYSIWYG means what you see is what you get. That's actually really what it means. You have a lot of familiar icons and editing buttons up in here that you'll see in layout programs and Word, but it's not Word. It's not a layout program. It's all web authoring, so there are differences. So we'll get into editing in the WYSIWYG. I'm going to do a separate video specifically on editing in the WYSIWYG. Down here, that banner image that we were talking about a little bit ago, this is where you point to that. It is called a primary image. And right now I have that image of the doctor and the goat. I think it's a goat. And I have an alt tag. And the alt tag, you have to have an alt tag. You see that little red star? If you don't put an alt tag in there, this page will not even let you go any further once you hit save. It'll remind you that you need to put an alt tag. And that is alternative text. That is for the visually impaired. And it works with their readers that they have running in the background. And it's important to put that in. So you want it to be a descriptive bit of text. And if I wanted to take this away, I can hit remove. That alt tag would go away. And then I can click and navigate to another image. And over the course of these videos, you're going to see me a number of times the way we add images, the way we add PDFs or Word docs. It's a very straight ahead thing. So I'm not going to do it right now, but you will be seeing how we do that. And it's actually pretty easy. To the right side of this page is showing you the last time this was saved, who did it. You can put messages in there every time you do a version. So you can, if you are working in a team, they can know what's going on, why you did what you did or what you did. There is the ability, we've already set this up as a submenu 1. That's the name of that menu item. You can put that in this way, or there's other ways of creating menu items, and we'll do that in another video as well. And this is still about the menu item. This is under About, which is in our top level, and then this is a subcategory. You can put in descriptions for search engine optimization. You can get into that quite a bit if you want by putting in some nice descriptions. You can put a short abstract of what the page is about. You can put in keywords, and this will help Google find you better. I'm not going to worry about getting into this sitemap. The URL is, in this case, they're already created for you. But when we do a video on how to add a brand new page, I'm going to show you some things about this. I won't be worrying about the URL redirects. The authoring information is showing who authored it, when it was authored, what time. That doesn't necessarily have to show up on the pages. We don't have them set up to show on the page, but we can. Categorizing and tagging is something that we'll get into in a later video. If this was a list of stories, like in news articles or a blog, you can determine whether or not you want one specific one to be at the very top. But again, that's in another video on working in news stories and in blogs. And the content audit, I'm not going to get into there, but this was if you were working on a team and you wanted people to be looking at this. And we're not really even doing this at this point, but we will be. But it is here. When we are really clear on how we're going to use that, we will make a video about that as well.